Our brave men and women.
These were men who put literally their lives on the line.
They showed amazing courage by running toward gunfire for the singular purpose of trying to save lives. And it is a fact that because of their quick response, getting on the scene, being able to respond to the gunman and eliminate the gunman, they were able to save lives.
There were cops arguing with us, and we got kind of confrontational.
You're scared to get shot? I'll go in with all of them. Yeah, I will, okay.
Y'all need to go in, why don't y'all go in? And a lot of other parents were telling them, and they were like, it's because we're having to deal with y'all. And having to deal with y'all, like blaming us on why they couldn't go in.
Bottom line is that law enforcement was there. They did engage immediately. They did contain them in the classroom, and they put a tactical stack together, in a very orderly way, and of course breached and assaulted the individual.
Wait, see if I can talk to him. Just wait. Dude, we gotta get in here, man.
There's no active shooting. Someone can be hurt, but I'm not here.
From the timeline that I've seen, those agents got here as quickly as they possibly could, and they didn't hesitate. They entered that classroom and they took action.
We stand in awe of the courageous law enforcement officers, including members of our United States Border Patrol, who ran into danger.
Full of victims. Child called 911 saying the room is full of victims.
They bring honor to law enforcement and to us all. This is what they do. Every single day, this is who they are.
I have messages for Pete Arredondo and all the law enforcement that were there that day. Turn in your badge and step down. You don't deserve to wear one.
Hey, from the benefit of hindsight, where I'm sitting now, of course it was not the right decision. It was the wrong decision, period.
Any catastrophic event, there's always going to be lack of information. But there was also misinformation in this case. And that's important because, when you arrive on a particular scene, whether you're a police officer, a deputy, a constable, whether you're a special agent with ATF, with DEA, with HSI, with Border Patrol, it doesn't matter. When you arrive on scene and you see people acting like it's a barricaded subject, okay, talking like it's a barricaded subject, then it's treated like a barricaded subject. And if you don't have the information that there's children in the classroom, there's teachers in the classroom that have been shot, the subject's still in there, and no one is treating those individuals, then you have misinformation, and unfortunately misinformation is costly, and you don't have time for that.
So you're saying that on that day you believe some of the officers on the ground, some of the troopers on the ground, some of the deputies, some of the agents may not have had the proper information, that they lacked.
Well, I know that they lack the proper information. It's one thing to have a lack of information. That's always the case in situations like this, and there's always a crushing demand, and I'm responsible part of that demand for information as quick as possible, because you're holding your breath every time you hear active shooter, school, oh God, this is an elementary school. You just hold your breath and hope it's a hoax. There's one more hoax that has happened, and or it was isolated and no children were hurt. But that's not the case in this situation.
Isn't there also a duty, though, to go find out what the truth is if you're on the ground?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely there is, and that's why it's so important, and that's why our profession integrity is so important. You got to be able to call it like it is. And if there's any culpability, we're looking at our officers, because we're looking at our officers not just in terms of when they arrived and what they did, but also what they didn't do. But is it possible that if they were in the hallway sooner, could they have gotten information, okay, that would allow us, or at least allow the countermand in terms of the direction at the time, because it was a barricaded subject, because it was not a barricaded subject.
Could they have, or should they have, right?
Well, I wish they would have had, I'll put it that way. Whether they could have, or is a different topic, because we're conducting an ongoing investigation internally by the Inspector General. I'm going to wait for his conclusions before I make a final determination of whether they should have or could have.